as we do every single Wednesday, we crush on women in entertainment. Today is no exception, and I am so excited about this particular guest. She is a young lady who uses her art not just to entertain you, but also to advocate. She is an activist, so to speak. And I love women with a cause. It's absolutely amazing. She calls herself Banshee. What's your actual name?
Tatiana.
Okay.
That's the name on the birth certificate.
Okay, all right. So how did we get to Banshee?
Okay, so I was really interested in like Irish folklore when I was younger, and I learned that a banshee in Irish folklore is actually a phantom who cries when someone important is about to die, like someone who's a part of the royal family. So I kind of took that.
So I knew what Annie noise, but I didn't know there's an event that leads up to it. Okay.
Yeah. So I took that and made it my own in the sense that when I'm doing spoken word or like music or anything like that, I'm like pleading with a dying society, like trying to make them cautious of the fact that they are dying and they should choose life and become better. So yeah.
At what point did you discover Banshee in you?
I think she's always been there. Like when I was like really young, I think about 6, 7, I started writing more. I used to write prose and short stories, and then it kind of transitioned into speeches and poems. And then here we are transitioning into music. So yeah, it's been a very long time.
Right,
yes.
Right. But you've been doing amazing things in that space as well.
Thank you.
And I think aptly naming yourself Banshee, speaking to, as you phrase it, a dying society, advocating for things that nobody's really talking about. And because of some of these topics that you've touched on, you found yourself in very amazing spaces internationally as well. Tell me about your first international venture.
Okay, so the first time I went outside of the country, this is literally my first time, and it was for advocacy. I went to the Conference of the Parties in Paris, France, and I was representing Zimbabwe as a climate change ambassador. And at the time, I was like really young. I think it was just before I was in Form 4. And it was really interesting because like there were a lot of countries and a lot of people from different backgrounds, but we were all facing the same challenges with reference to like climate change and climate action. And it was a great privilege for them to like actually get to understand where I'm coming from as a person who's coming from Zimbabwe. And I managed to sit on a panel with Miss Angelique Kidjo, and that was really, really powerful for me. Yeah, because I love her. Like she's just so powerful. Yeah. So yeah, it was interesting.
Oh, you know what? Now you say that this was when you were younger, and you'll find that with a lot of people. So when we're in high school, there's like we get involved in all these things, and we're very passionate about them. And but as we grow older, we kind of fall out of that passion. How have you been able to find your voice and actually carry it forward as you also grow? Because as you grow, also your interests will change, your heart will change, your mind will change. But you've found a pace that you've wanted to maintain, and you've been able to grow with it. How has that worked?
I feel like I've always been a very passionate person, very emotional, very passionate, very forthcoming. Like even when I was like really young, like Form 1 till Form 4, I was really trying to get into like spaces that were reserved for people who are older. And as a passionate person who's really about other people, because I feel like the reason God put us on this earth is not necessarily for us, but it's for other people, for us to impact other people positively. I feel like that's been a constant in my life, because change will always be there, situations will always be there, problems will always be there, and there is a need for young people to continue influencing change and positivity in the communities that they come from. And I feel like that's something that I've always really loved to do. So I don't think that's something that's going to change, because there's always going to be a reason to speak, there's always going to be a reason to share my mind and all of that. And I really hope that I will be able to even mentor others and like encourage them to do the same.
Yeah, I really hope you can, because there is need for more voices coming together and amplifying the different causes that we have in our society that need to be addressed. And you've picked a very pretty medium. You're not out there shouting and screaming randomly, so we'll be like, we aren't out, so you're not toting placards and whatnot. You're using poetry, you're using music, you're using art. Has that always been something that's within you, just this artistic side? Is it something that's always been there?
Yes, it's really been in me for a very long time. And I feel like I use art because art is like very universal. It doesn't matter which generation you're coming from, your sex, your gender, the color of your skin, whatever. Every single person has an appreciation of art. Even if you're like doing sciences or anything like that, that's an art form, because God made us very artistic. So like, yeah, art has been my passion for a very long time, and I just thought, yeah, why not just use it for positive impact rather than just like entertainment. So yes.
But your space is also not easy, especially for you being a young woman. How have you been able to overlook the different challenges that present themselves and say, look, I'm going to keep going because this is something that I truly believe in?
I think just understanding, like, when you're doing activism, you really have to be a selfless person. You can't really put yourself at the center. You have to be in it, but you have to put other people first. And that's something that's just really been helping me push forward. I feel like I've got a really good team, a good support system. My parents are very supportive. I've got a lot of friends who really encourage me to continue to pursue, and I feel like I'm not alone. So that's something that most artists who are in the same space as me, even as females, they need a network of other women who will be able to protect them and stand with them and stuff, and because that's really helped me grow as an artist, as a female artist, to be specific.
You've spoken about the hope to be able to mentor at some point. That's also not an easy space because you're dealing with a completely different human being. But as part of the journey to your end goal, and of course that is getting the issues that you speak about addressed adequately, how do you hope to reach out to those who are younger than you and also in your generation who maybe don't understand the significance of it? I mean, yes, we're starting to witness the effects of climate change, for example, but for someone who is much younger, who hasn't seen the different patterns as they've evolved, it's very disconnected for them. For them, this is what they've grown up around, and they know that sometimes it's blazing hot, sometimes it's really cold. Here and there we'll have erratic rain patterns. So how do you hope to be able to connect to them to get to a point where you even can bring somebody on board and mentor them?
Okay, so I want to pursue mentorship at an extended scale. It doesn't mean that I haven't been mentoring. I have been, but very small scale. And for instance, I do skateboarding as well. I think So when I'm doing skateboarding, it's like I'm helping young children, young girls, to learn how to skateboard and stuff. So kind of using that means in order to mentor them in other spheres, things that pertain to their lives, like sexuality, growing as a woman, being independent, and all of that. I feel
creating those relationships through mediums that they relate to.
Yes, and like I had said earlier, art is very universal. So I feel like it'll be very easy for me, easier to be able to mentor them, because we're speaking kind of like a universal language, and it's comprehensive, so anyone can understand. So instead of using big jargon, making them crack their heads to kind of understand what's going on, kind of using these mediums, artistic mediums, to kind of get them to understand would be a great avenue for me to venture into. So I'm really, really excited for that. And yeah,
I'm extremely excited for you. I love the journey that you've taken and how you're going on about it. We do wish you all the best. Where do we find you on social media if we just want to chip into your journey? If somebody wants to get in touch with you, where do we find you?
Okay, so I mostly use Instagram. I love Instagram so much.
Well, it makes sense.
So it's Banshee _ZW. So that's BANSHEE_ZW. And then on Facebook, it's Tatiana Natalie Kondo, the government name. TatianaNATALIEKONDO. And that's for then for YouTube I kind of changed my name again, so it's Banshee _ZW as well. I guess that's it.
Banshee, we do wish you all the best. This is a journey I know I will definitely be following very, very closely. Please do continue to do what you do, and when you're tired and feeling a little demotivated, come find me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
We need more of you. So please do mentor those little groups. Okay. All right. All right. All the best. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.